education, profession, communication, success. Are they connected to each other? I hope you learned something. See you next meeting. Class dismissed. How can a teacher's communication skills influence a student's success or failure?
My name is Nazir Abbas, and I used to teach English and economics at the college level at the Rizal Memorial Colleges in Davao City.
You chose your profession.
Well, it's keeping up with the family tradition. I come from a family of teachers. I have two older sisters who are teachers, and I thought perhaps I could also teach. And so I tried it. And I
So,
guess I like teaching because teaching can be fun, but it can also be very unrewarding because of the salary. The pay is low, and most workers, after 5 p.m., they go home and then they can do anything. But for teachers, after we leave this class and go back up, we still have to work. We have to do check papers, prepare exams, and we don't get any overtime pay for this. So teachers are the most overworked and the most underpaid workers.
ayun. Yung second question po, do you ever feel like your skill for communication makes you an effective teacher?
Yes,
How?
if you're a teacher, you should know how to communicate with your students. Because you cannot just write things on the blackboard or read from a book. You have to see how well your students can absorb the things that you teach. So, ganun lang naman talaga. Kaya sa dinami-dami ng mga estudyante mo, maswerte ka kung mayroong isa doon ang talagang na-reach out at ma-influence. So it can be rewarding, but it can also be disappointing. So it depends on certain situations.
Yun po. As an educator po, what words do you use when communicating with students? Superficial or deep word?
If you teach in the elementary level, you have to, you know, use simple words. But when you go to high school or college, you can use complicated or more difficult words.
So, as a teacher, how do you encourage students to use their communication skills as well?
But sometimes you can, for instance, I teach English, uh, communication skills. So I require my students to declaim in class. Sometimes they are very surprised because most teachers don't do that. But I tried it, and even those who are very shy, they are forced to declaim. And then there are times that I teach the students or require them to engage in debate, public debate. There will be two teams, and there will be the entire school be watching them. So they would really be encouraged, especially when I taught in Davao City. Most of the students there are Visayans. They don't really speak English much. So I give them a chance to debate in English in public, and they're really forced. And it can sometimes be very helpful to them because they're you know they are sometimes shy to use what they call spoken in dollars. So when they are required because of the grades, then the talents really are come to the fore. They, they're able to exercise whatever talents they have. They can develop their skills this way.
What kind of approach do you think is the most successful for inspiring your students?
Well, you have to be personal with them, and you have to see just where they are interested in. You cannot just teach them anything, and without them just staring at you. and not understanding what in heaven's name are you talking about. So you have to really find out.
How do you handle those students with lack of listening?
Sometimes you can make jokes or you can compare things like that. So you can use things where the students can relate to these things. You cannot just be very straight and forward and very didactic. Sometimes you can be flexible, especially for students. When I was teaching, most of my students were working students, and many of them were even older than I, because I taught in private school, but then many of the students there come from lower class. So many of them are workers. Some are security guards. Some were the sales ladies.
How does communication affect your students' performance?
If they are ashamed or shy, they will not be able to express themselves. So in order to do that, you have to encourage them to come out and say whatever they want to say. For instance, before every semester, I always ask each student to come to the front and introduce themselves and talk about themselves. So this gives them a chance to more or less express themselves, and this would also remove whatever inhibitions they might have. Because you just sit down and do nothing, and then the students just listen to the teacher, then copy the things on the blackboard. You won't be able to reach out to them. So communication is reaching out to your students so that they will be able to absorb whatever you are teaching.
There should be an interaction.
Yeah, there should be interaction. Because I want the students to really interact not only with me, but with everyone.
How does it feel that you're able to reach out your students through your communications?
Well, it can be gratifying when you see that you you see that your students have learned something from you. And all the work, all the hard work, sometimes it's the it's the satisfaction that you get that is very encouraging.
Do you think your communication skills po is effective or has a significant effect to their success today?
Yes, I think so. So some of my students, they are now lawyers.
Hi, I'm Carla Dela Cruz. I'm 22 years old, a student of City College of Calamba, and I am a volunteer of Pag-asa Youth Association of the Philippines and some other organizations like Kabataan, Kontra Droga at Terorismo po.
As a student, do you think communication skills of the educator have a significant effect in your future success? How?
Ako, feeling ko meron, pero feeling ko din wala. Yung sa meron, kasi yung mga teacher, minsan, di ba, tulad ko, accountancy ako. Pag may hindi ako naintindihan at nagtanong ako sa teacher, pag hindi sila marunong makipag-communicate ng ayos, wala akong matututunan, hindi ko maiintindihan. Pero, at parte yon ng success. Pero, kung ang estudyante naman ay resourceful, kahit na hindi ka naintindihan, kahit hindi marunong makipag-communicate ang teacher mo, kung kaya mo umintindi sa ibang paraan, walang epekto yon. Pero overall, kailangan ang teacher at student, nagtutugma sila. Yun nga, sinasabi ko, li-level sila. Though hindi li-level na ibababa mo yung sarili mo, yung kaalaman ng teacher ay naiiba sa kaalaman na nag-aaral pa lang. So, parang kailangan mag-compromise ang teacher at student.
Do you think they can influence and motivate to strive and survive to your life?
Oo naman. Lahat, sa akin lahat ng teacher na dumaan sa buhay ko, parang may naiiwan sila. Tulad grade 3 ako si Ma'am Mhylez. Parang, ang na-instill niya sa akin, kaya ang ganda mo magsulat. Buong buhay ko, pinanindigan ko maganda ako magsulat. Hanggang ngayon, dala ko siya. Before ako, yung sa National Children's Television, na-recognize ni Ma'am Madriaga na magaling ako magsalita, na kaya ko mag-broadcaster, kaya ko mag-MC. Pinagpatuloy ko yon na hanggang ngayon, kung feeling ko, kung ano ko ngayon, may impart doon yung bawat dumadaan sa buhay ko. naniniwala ako doon na kayo, bawat isa sa inyo, bawat isa sa atin, may iwan tayong parte sa kung sino yung makakasalamuhan natin sa buhay natin. So, same as our teachers. Ganun sila.
Is there any difficulties that you have been because of the lack of communication between educator and learner?
Between educators and learners, oo naman, communication is important talaga, lalo na sa tayo students, tayo dapat ang nag-a-approach, tayo dapat ang nag-uumpisa ng communication. Hindi tayo mas mataas sa teacher.
So, what are the unforgettable lines or words that your past teachers marked to you that helps you to keep reaching your dreams?
Share ko na lang yung mga sa graduation ko. Grade 6 ako, ang natutunan kong sa graduation ay learn how to ask. Hindi lahat alam mo. Next, graduation, moving up ceremony. Always make your goals bigger than your dreams. Senior high. Ang pinaka natandaan ko kay Doc Opulenza, know your purpose. So kayo din, kung di parang kayo bilang isang mag-aaral, first year na kayo, know your purpose. Lagi niyong tandaan yun. Learn how to ask. Always set your goals bigger than your dreams. At know your purpose.
A perspective from a retired teacher and incoming fourth-year students gives me a curiosity on what will be the perspective of those people who have been teaching in just 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, and also the perspective from the grade 10 student that will encounter higher year levels in future.
My name is Estacio and I am currently teaching grade 8 MAPE.
Good morning, class. The lesson for today is